what's up, everyone? Welcome to today's Real Validation Integration webinar, where we're announcing a brand new integration that allows you to do some really cool things inside Sierra Interactive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go through a couple things for you. Then we'll jump inside Sierra Interactive. We'll take a look at what it looks like actually inside the platform so that you know what's going on there. And yeah, drop some feedback if you have any questions or comments, concerns, all those kind of things. Here we go. We've got a page that is now published on our website where you can learn more about what the Real Validation integration is. First thing here, enhance data quality and comply with DNC and TCPA rules. Now, the DNC list has always been around. We should have always been scrubbing our contacts against the DNC list. And there never really was a very good mechanism inside Sierra Interactive. And that's what this Real Validation integration solves, is gives you the ability directly within the platform to do DNC lookups. If you're a current client of ours and you do some of the things we do inside the CRM, everything plays along with all of the filters and automations and everything that we install inside your system. The cool part about this integration is you don't have to use the things we use inside the CRM in order to be eligible to use this, right? So if you're just a client of Sierra Interactive and you just want access to this Real Validation integration to be able to do lookups, this is totally something that you can do. It's not that you have to use all of our other services in order to use this product. So let's talk about what Real Validation is first. So let's talk about what that is. Real Validation is a company, and if you want to look them up, it's called realphonevalidation.com, but the name of the company is Real Validation. They specialize in real-time data verification around emails and phone numbers, email verification, phone verification, DNC lookup. And that's what we've integrated with. So when we look up the data, it comes directly from that source, and then we pipe that data right back into your Sierra account. And so that's what we've done. We built an API integration. It allows you to confirm phone types, validate email addresses, and check against DNC lists. Another thing here, validate phone numbers and emails directly inside the system. And the big thing here is being able to improve the data that you have and stay compliant with those DNC lists. So the first thing is DNC scrubbing. So we have one process that you can run on a single lead or a group of leads, and you can even enroll leads that you want this process to happen monthly, because truthfully, that's what you're supposed to do, is check people who are not on the DNC list every single month to make sure they're not on the DNC list now. You can avoid these fines and stay compliant, right? The cool part about the way the DNC scrubbing works with the Real Validation integration is it actually scrubs against the national DNC list, the state DNC list, a thing called the DMA list, which is a registry, and then also the litigator list. Litigator list meaning, has this phone number been in or is currently involved in any sort of TCPA DNC issue, right? Is it filed as one of the numbers in any court docs? So that's really good information. It's going to help you be able to make good decisions. The second thing we have here in the middle is email verification. What's really cool about this, and Sierra does this from time to time, it's not consistent across every single lead, but they will check some of this and they will do email verification from time to time. This, though, allows you to actually run this process on a single lead or a group of leads, and then it comes back as valid or invalid. And the coolest part about the way that the integration works is we actually go in and automatically update the validity of the email to valid or invalid at the lead record level. So what that does is make sure that your data is clean, make sure that the property alerts you're trying to send out, the marketing emails you're trying to send out, that you're not just trying to send a bunch of stuff to dead email addresses. Really, really helps with that. Last thing we have here is phone validation. And with the phone validation, it's really cool. It gives a whole bunch of information, the caller ID of the person, what type of device it is, whether or not the phone is connected, because the data source actually tests the different phone numbers. So they're constantly randomly dialing. They have a system that does that they can check phone validity. So it gives you a lot of data. Every single one of these things, the DNC scrub, the email, and the phone validation, they're all independent inside of here. So you can choose to run one of these processes or all of these processes on your leads. Obviously, you're not going to run email verification on people with no email or phone verification on people without a phone number and things like that. So just be aware of that. So this is kind of what it looks like inside of the CRM. Everything is accessible right within the CRM. So all of the process, the applying of any tags that you want to do for the lookup, all the notes that we give you, just everything happens right here natively in the product. You You don't have to export your database and then scrub the database and then re-upload the database over here. You don't have any of those things. You can just do it right inside the platform. And what a lot of the other people that are doing similar things to this in the real estate industry, they're forcing you to run your whole database if they do it inside of the application every single month, every single 30 days. Well, if we already found out that that person's on the DNC list, we don't need to pay to find out they're on the DNC list again. We already know they are. What we need to do is run processes against people who are not on the DNC list so that if the phone number comes up on the DNC list, we can mark it appropriately, right? So it allows you to save the API calls, save the money, and just not overspend on a process that shouldn't be that complicated. Key features and functionality, a couple things here. We talked about this already. DNC checks against the national, the state, and the DMA list, the known litigator list. We talked about that. We talked about email and phone validation, those key features. The thing I was just talking about a second ago or alluding to is the partial or full database scan. So that's what's really nice is we give that option. If you want to only tag one lead or a group of leads and do a one-off check, you can check them. If you want to enroll them in something we call auto sync, the auto sync process runs on the first of every single month. And for the leads that you've enrolled in auto sync, we'll just recheck the lead. If the lead ever comes back as being on one of the DNC lists, it'll automatically unenroll them from being synced so that you don't spend any more money on it. So that's really, really nice. And it's fully compatible. It's a direct API integration between Sierra and RealValidation. We're just kind of managing that internal part. So how does the process work? I mean, I've probably mentioned this as we've gone through this, but you apply a tag to either do a single lookup or a monthly sync. Okay, and we put these tags inside of your account when we do the integration, when we set everything up. Once you apply that tag, an API call happens. That goes over to RealValidation, and based on the tag that you apply, it's either going to do a DNC lookup, a phone lookup, or an email lookup, right? An email validation. And then what we're going to do is when we get that data back from RealValidation, we're going to update the lead record. We're going to update anything that we can. So we'll add tags to the lead that are relevant. Those tags are very important because they allow you to find leads later. They allow you to filter leads later so that you can start creating filters and automations inside of your account that respect people that are on the DNC list. And then if we get valid information, like we know it's a valid phone number or a valid email, we're automatically updating those things to valid or invalid for you. I've also got some frequently asked questions down here, that sort of thing. I guess the biggest thing that we have here before we jump into pricing is just like looking at this inside of an account. So I have a demo account here. Hopefully everybody can see my screen here. Thumbs up in the chat if it's switched over to Sierra Interactive. Let me, little emoji, whatever. We got some thumbs up. Cool. We're over here in the Sierra platform. So this is a contact, Melissa and Shane. They came in through a Google Performance Max ad a while back, and they had a phone number and an email on file. Now, the email address was set as unknown when I came into this contact, and the phone was set as unknown, right? So I had unknown information on this contact. Now, I ran this process just for the sake of, being able to talk through it, not have to sit here. When you apply one of the tags, it takes around a minute for the whole round trip. 1 minute, right? When you apply the tag, that has to notify us. We have to notify RealValidation. RealValidation has to run it. They have to notify us. We have to go update Sierra. So that's the round trip, is about 1 minute for that round trip. So I've done this for the sake of time, but here's what happens. We have these tags that get applied to the lead that tell you a whole bunch of different things about it. But really what we're looking at is the notes here in the middle. So let's start at the top. We've got an email validation. So what I did is I applied this phone validation tag. You can see it right here. It's got an asterisk next to it. RV standing for RealValidation. And it's phone validation, and it came back as valid. And this was updated to match it, right? So it's telling us right here what happened, the process that ran, what the results were, and what we did. Same thing happened for phone validation. So we have a separate tag with the asterisk, and it says phone validation, RV phone validation. When we apply that, here's what came back. So this was the caller ID that I got. I know that it's a landline, it's a business, it's a connected phone, which is basically them telling us this is a good verified line. We've tried it. We know that it gets connected. And then it's gone ahead and told us, we've updated this. We've included any tags. that you can use in filtering and automation. The last one is a DNC lookup. Same thing. When we look up here, we've got an asterisk tag that has RV DNC lookup. So these are the tags that you would use to apply these different things. And it came back no, right? So this contact here, I know that at any point in time, I can call this contact. I'm not at risk. This phone number, let's be clear, this phone number is not at risk for me being in any type of situation with calling them. Now, where this becomes important is somebody who's not on the DNC list, you're probably going to want to run this process every single month so that you don't end up in a situation where this phone number ends up getting applied to the DNC list later, and then you're calling them. And all you have to do for that, it's really, really simple. You go over here and there's a DNC lookup tag that says auto sync. And when you apply the auto sync tag, it's actually going to run the process one time per month on this contact. And if it ever comes back as any of these being yes, it'll automatically stop running the process, because we've now found out that this phone number is now connected to one of these lists, and there's no reason to continue to run it because we know the outcome now. We know that it's, on one of the lists, right? And there's no need to continue to spend money on it. Last thing that I want to talk about is cost. What are the costs associated with this? I guess that's the biggest question, right? That's the elephant in the room. We're doing a one-time. GGMS charges a one-time fee of $299. If you are a lifetime client, we have a really good deal for lifetime clients. You get this at a much better rate than this. I am going to drop inside the chat a link to this if anybody's interested in it. This payment link will allow you to get this process going right now. It takes us, between the work we have to do behind the scenes and then the work we have to do on the call, takes us an hour and a half to set everything up, and then we go through everything with you. What we do on the call only takes about 20 to 30 minutes. The last part of it, just the final connection, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes. We got to set up tags. We have to set up automations. We got to set up the API. We got to get your client profile together. There's all those things that we have to do. And originally we thought about having a monthly charge for this service, but I don't think that's what you guys want. You guys want a flat fee. Tell me what it costs. Tell me what it is to get the integration. And so it's $299, and that is for all of the work we've done to build it, all of the work we're going to do to support it. If there's bugs, if you have questions, if you send something into support, we'll be able to support it, right? That's that. Now, when it comes to API consumption, that is all through RealValidation. So when you onboard into this product with us, we get you a RealValidation account so that we can get a RealValidation API key. That API key is what we connect to our software in order to make everything happen. And they charge you directly. And here's what the pricing is. It is 2 cents for a DNC lookup per lookup. It is 2 cents for an email lookup per lookup. And then it is 6 cents if you want to do a phone validation. Now, keep in mind, not all of your contacts are going to have phone numbers, and there's going to be things where you're not going to run all of these processes on every single lead. At the end of the day, if you did all of the lookup, it's 10 cents per record. If you just did the DNC lookup, it's only 2 cents. So for 1,000 contacts, you can spend $20 to verify that none of those contacts are on the DNC list. Okay, so $20 for 1,000 contacts is what it looks like for the DNC lookup. But that's what it is. It's a one-time payment to us to set everything up, to maintain it ongoing. If there's any bugs or challenges that you run into, we troubleshoot things. We'll constantly evolve the product. If there's new, API endpoints that are available from Sierra or that are available from RealValidation. All right, cool. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions whatsoever, let's just talk next steps. First off, I've got a payment link. If you're interested in signing up, what it'll do is it'll take you to a page on our HubSpot that you can make the payment, and we'll get you up and running. We'll have you up and running probably by end of day tomorrow. We can have it up and running that fast. If you're a lifetime client, if you are a lifetime client watching this, please reach out to support@ggms.com. And we have a good deal for you because you're a lifetime client. You guys have made, large commitments with us to do business with us, and we want to take care of you. So just reach out to us. We've got a different payment link for you over there. Again, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. This real validation thing is just going to allow you to keep those contacts clean, stay away from calling people on the DNC list when you shouldn't be, and just, overall just have a better experience inside of the system. So thank you so much, everyone. Reach out if you need anything. If you're not a client of ours and you're interested in this, just reach out to sales@ggms.com. You do not need to do any other services with us in order to have this real validation integration installed into your account with Sierra. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.